We're in Cranberry Township in southwestern Butler County, and we're here as they begin Community Days to bring the entire community together with many, many activities, and thousands of people are coming. Cranberry Township, as you know, has been known for so many years as the fastest growing township in Pennsylvania. So we want to talk with Bruce Mazzoni. He is the chairperson of the Cranberry Township Board of Supervisors because he's been around here for 10 years serving the township to find out about Cranberry. Now, Community Days says the word community, which means that people get together and live like it's a regular community. But this, for a long time, wasn't. It was just a small crossroads here where there are hardly any people living, but it's grown into something, the fastest growing township in Pennsylvania. How has a community developed from what was really a sparse community many, many years ago?
Well, I give credits to the supervisors 30 years ago because they made the decision to do some planning, to bring in professional staff in anticipation of the growth. You know, when they made the connection of 279 up here to the Turnpike in 79, they felt that this community was on the verge of growth and they wanted to get ahead of it. And one of the amazing things they did was to bring in professional staff as a small community.
Well, Bruce, it's interesting because I remember 40 or 50 years ago driving on Route 228 coming this way, passing 19, and all there was an Esso station. That's all there was at that intersection.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, even myself, I came in 1984. There was one traffic light. That was it. But it was work that brought me up here. It was the RIDC Industrial Park that became the home of our company from a North American perspective, and other businesses came along. I think a lot of people moved here for the same reason I moved here. Being in Butler County, we have very low taxes. Cranberry itself had a lot of growth opportunity. I was very fortunate. I lived in a neighborhood that had very large lots. Myself, I have 3 acres at my home. Not that you can get that today, but for the same reasons, I think people came. And in anticipation of that and the proper planning of Cranberry Township, it's now a very desirable place to work, live, and play.
Let's talk about community, though. People coming from Allegheny County, a lot of them came here for work because some major companies here, for instance, Westinghouse. Others came here because the taxes were lower, but they came from all over the country, too, for various reasons. So these are strangers. They don't have any feelings about Cranberry Township yet because they just moved here. How do you get them to feel like they're part of a real community?
Well, that's a great question. And in fact, that brings us back to 2005 and the advent of CTCC and Community Days and the reasons for it. You know, in one of the negatives of Cranberry, when we were doing a 25-year comprehensive plan, we wanted to see what did we want Cranberry to be when it grows up. You know, we could, depending on the ordinance and the zonings that we establish, it could be a community of 35,000, it could be a community of 50,000, it could be a community of 70,000. We brought 80 people from the community, businesses, and we met for 18 months in developing the comprehensive plan of what we wanted to be. But one of the negatives of Cranberry Township as we did this comprehensive plan was that while Cranberry Township was growing, our nonprofit and civic groups were not growing. They were decreasing. In fact, some of them were on the death throes. Some of them actually ended. And one of the things we did was we searched other communities to see what they did to make their communities healthy. And Gallup and the Knight Foundation, they made a survey as far as what makes healthy community. And there's a lot of different drivers that are important for communities, but the 3 drivers for a healthy community was how open it was, the diversity of the community, being open to it, the aesthetics of the community itself. And those are 2 areas I think Cranberry works very hard to do, from the diversity and the appearance of Cranberry Township. And as you go through Cranberry, you see the streetscape ordinance and the aspect. The third part of that was the connectivity of the people. and that was building that connectivity, because a lot of times, as you said, people are new to the area, so they don't have the family aspect of the connectivity, and that's why we wanted to do it with community days, with our nonprofit and civic group sector, and that makes that connection. Community days involves 650 community members to make it happen. They're all volunteers.
Let's talk about what's happening here. It's starting today here on Community Days. There are so many activities to attract people here. Just what are those activities?
Oh, it's a busy day. Today is the kickoff of Community Days, so we'll start the carnival. We have 200 booths that are going on. The car cruises today. We have a concert and also a musical Broadway play on stage for that. So it's a very busy day today. Today, very active. Tomorrow we have the Rotary and the Beanbag contest going on with that, and that brings in a lot of people from across the nation, a big tournament on that. Obviously, our carnival will be running again. We have a variety of concerts today, a large amount of concerts, and again, they're all free too. And of course, the carnival is a very big attraction. But Saturday, of course, is our biggest day. It starts early in the morning. We have our 5K kickoff, where the proceeds will go to our next project of the year. The Lions have their traditional pancake breakfast, and we start at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Concerts throughout the day, variety of activities for kids, adults, and of course we'll end it on Saturday night with our fireworks.
How many people does this attract, Bruce?
Well, last year we brought in over 30,000, and we anticipate that amount, if not more, again this year. One of the things that's nice about Community Days is the price of entry for everyone is $0. So a family of 4 or 6 can bring their family in for nothing. A lot of free activities, a lot of booths to look at, a lot of free giveaways. So it makes it very attractive from that standpoint.
All of this is to raise money for the community chest. What's going to be happening with that money this year?
Yeah, we theme Community Days as a celebration of our nonprofit and civic groups. And actually, we'll have well over 40 different nonprofit groups involved in Community Days. And together, last year, we raised over $150,000. But even more important than that, these nonprofit and civic groups get additional volunteers. They get memberships to increase their role. And since we've done that, all our nonprofit and civic groups have increased in membership, building that connectivity. CTCC's portion will go to the next project of the year. Community Days kicks off the new project of the year. In 2014, it was we initiated the Volunteer Firefighter Initiative. 2015, it will be the Miracle League. We are going to resurface the Miracle League field and build a new playground around there for kids of all abilities.
For those, Bruce, who need some more information, is there a website they can watch?
There is. It's www.ctccchest.org, or they can also go on Cranberry Township website and do the link onto there too.
Bruce, thanks so much. Good to talk to you.
Larry, it's my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now it's time for us to talk with some other people involved with Community Days here at Cranberry Township, and let's do that. Cranberry Township Community Days is very, very important to the community chest of Cranberry Township. And Cindy Marzak is on the board of directors of Community Chest. What is Community Chest?
Community Chest is an organization in Cranberry Township that represents all the nonprofit organizations in the area. It's a wonderful organization.
How many organizations?
Over 40.
Mention just a few so people have a better idea exactly what Community Chest is involved with.
The Miracle League, the American Heart Association, we represent the Cranberry Cup. We help promote volunteerism and help the nonprofits participate in the community.
So do you actually share some of the money that you raise with each of the 40 organizations?
Not equally all of the time, but yes, most of our funds are raised through Cranberry Township Community Days, through CTCC Community Days, and that seeds the community projects of the year. But we also allot money to the organizations depending upon who applies and the need.
When the organizations within the community chest get involved here, do they each send volunteers?
They do. We have over 600 volunteers in that. We say a 3-day period, but we also have the day before that has some pre-celebratory events. And they do send volunteers. They also fundraise for themselves during the event. So overall, it's just supporting everything.
So they would have booths or activities?
They do. They can have booths. They have activities. Everything is on our website. You can apply to have a booth. You can sponsor an activity. There are just so many ways to get involved. And that's what builds a strong community, the volunteerism, and that's pretty much our mission.
What do some of the volunteers do at Community Days?
We have everything from parking. We have volunteers that collect donations for parking, bring water to people, help with the stage activities. You name it, we pretty much do it. We have an information booth. We have volunteers there. We have a 5K race on Saturday morning. We have extensive volunteer list for that. So there's just so many ways to get involved. And people like to volunteer.
Are you surprised that the turnout for Cranberry Township Community Days is so great?
Not at all. Not at all. It's a wonderful, wonderful event, and people love it.
But most of the people from here or who live here now are not from here, so they're strangers to most of the other people, aren't they?
Big events like this is what really brings people together into a sense of community. It's just a time to get together, and it's amazing how many people you actually know. Even in a big community, it has a small town feel when you attend an event like this.
I've been told that when people first come here, they still have their allegiances, their ties to where they came from, particularly those coming in from Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. I wonder how long it takes for someone to start breaking those ties and just actually make their social life right here in Cranberry Township.
I think that develops as you volunteer and you put efforts into your community. It builds a sense of pride, and then you take that on and it becomes your community. And I think that's when you tend to develop that. And that's pretty much what we are trying to do through volunteerism and supporting the nonprofits.
Well, you had said that many of the people who are volunteering, 600 or so volunteers that come here for Community Days, maybe get to know the rest of the community by doing that.
They do. And this is a way to bring people together. But we also have other events that we support throughout the year as well. We have a Christmas tree gallery, and nonprofits have the opportunity to set up a tree that is it displays what they do, the mission of their organization, and just events like that.
It's really interesting what's going on out here, and you've seen the growth of Cranberry Township over the years, maybe not from the very beginning because you're too young for that, but you've seen it over the last 10 years at least. Where do you think it's going to be 10 years from now?
Well, I think it's growing in a smart way. So if you'll notice, as the township is growing, community enhancements are also being added, so it's growing in a smart way. So I think it's just going to be a wonderful, larger community.
Well, there is a golf course out here now, which I understand is considered one of the best, if not the best, municipal golf course in the state. There's a water park, there are other amusement parks, there's the Miracle Field. What else do you need?
You know, the possibilities are endless. And Cranberry is always inviting the public to provide input as to what the community needs. So I look forward to it.
For those people who are watching today who are just moving into Cranberry Township and they just don't know how to make the contact to get involved with the community the way you're describing, what do they do?
They can contact the Community Chest. We have a website, ctccchest.org. Contact us. Let us know what you're interested in and how you'd like to be involved, and we will put you in the right place.
You probably remember from the very beginning when you first came here that those outsiders feel that only the insiders have the inside track and they have no chance of getting in. That's not true, is it?
That is absolutely not true. And the first time that I became involved, I attended Community Days. It was in 1995. I walked around and I thought, this is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful place. I want to be involved. And I asked one of the committee members, and I joined the committee right afterwards. They were so welcoming and they wanted new ideas. And that's what we look for. So I think people have that idea that we are welcoming, and we'd love to have more involved.
It's good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you throughout this event.
With so many people moving into Cranberry Township over the years from different parts of the country and from different countries as well, we wonder if there's a problem of people getting along together because of their different backgrounds. Charles Hawkins of Cranberry Township is part of a diversity network. And how did that all start?
Well, this started through the planning process that the township had instilled. And the Cranberry Plan showed that there was a need for initiatives in the area of diversity and culture. And that was the beginning of it.
What were the cultures that seem to be so unsure of themselves when they get to this new area?
Well, it wasn't only about not being sure of yourself, but it was about having the ability to show people that they are welcome in our community, to show that our community includes all people, and to also have people understand what this new culture is all about. Not only what the culture is about, but also to have them be able to have interpretation of the language differences and the cultural differences.
Well, speaking of the language differences, this would indicate that people are coming from many foreign countries. Are there many people here from many different countries?
Yes, we had an event not too long ago where we had 36 different countries represented. So there are people from all over the world living here in Cranberry now.
Where do they come from? Why do they come here?
Well, a lot of them come because we are fortunate in the sense that we have major industry here that has international workers that come to work in these large industrial places such as Westinghouse or PPG or MSA. They do bring their people to here.
When they bring these people here from the foreign countries, do they have some internal programs to help them adjust to a new country?
Oh, I'm sure they do. We really don't get into their programming as much as we get into making sure that the people, once they come here, are welcomed and that they know that this is an inclusionary area.
As you probably know, when people come to a new area, they kind of stick with people of their, quote, own kind. That's something that's not very healthy sometimes. How do you get people to look farther than just their own kind?
Well, one of the things we've attempted to do with the help of the Cranberry Plan is to put together a network of people so that they will have the opportunity to meet and be around other people within the township, thereby not being isolated in a certain grouping, but being part of the whole township.
Do many of the people who you're talking about here today come to the Cranberry Community Days?
Yes. As you are aware from talking with other people who are responsible for the Community Days, there are many thousands of people who come to this event. Consequently, the diversity group put together a section that will be part of the event called Our Diverse Neighbors. And the Our Diverse Neighbors section will be an area where we can showcase the diversity that exists here, where we can show the different ethnic groups, the different countries, the different cultures that are represented in our township. Not only show them, but also have the different foods from the different cultures, and also have entertainment that will depict the different cultural entertainment groups.
Are the public at large interested in learning about other cultures?
I think the public at large would be more interested if they knew that there was availability of education and of showing what other cultures are and how they interrelate with what happens in our culture, in our country.
Charles, looking back, is the program working? Are people being more understanding about other cultures?
Well, I think this is a beginning point. We have a long way to go, but we have started it. We do have people who are showing an interest. We do have opportunities that are being put forward where we can expand what we're doing so that people of different cultures and ethnicities are more included and feel more welcome. Not only through the township itself, but through the educational resources, through the business resources, through social resources, and through parks and recreation resources. So all of these things go together to bring out the differences and show that we can include all people in our community.
Charles, good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Very nice talking with you. Thank you.
As we said, there are lots of volunteers involved with the Cranberry Township Community Days, and there's someone who works for one of the churches in Cranberry Township, the Grace Community Church, as outreach director, and Cindy Zantz is very much involved with many, many volunteers. Is it difficult to get people to volunteer these days?
Actually, not at Grace. We're very blessed with a community of people who love to serve our local community, which in this case is Cranberry. So we just put the word out there and people email me and let me know they want to sign up, and we fill the spots.
Well, volunteering for church volunteer work is one thing, but the broader community might be a different task.
They love it. They love being out in the community, meeting people, and just building relationships.
What do your volunteers do here at Community Days?
At Community Days, we do a couple different things. For many years, we have provided the volunteers for all of the ticket booths, which are used to sell the carnival tickets. We provide parking volunteers on Saturday to, as people are coming into the lots, they collect the tickets and the money and help them park. And starting last year, and we're expanding it this year, we're offering a free Euro bungee jump by Grace Community Church. It's located down in the amphitheater area where people can come down and bring their kids for a free bungee jump time.
When the volunteers come here to work one year, are they anxious to come back because they enjoyed it, maybe?
Yes, my parking team has been the same parking crew for probably 4 or 5 years now. And volunteers for tickets, the same thing. Everybody wants me to make sure I contact them first, give them the first option to come back.
I know you're on the board of directors of the Cranberry Township Community Chest,
Yes.
and we talked about that a little bit earlier. But let's talk about the event itself. Is it serving its purpose, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Every year it's continued to grow. I know last year the carnival sales were the highest they've ever been. We had great weather last year, of course that helps. But yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity for people to come out and just meet others, come out as neighborhood groups maybe, and just have a great time. And then it all culminates on Saturday night with the fireworks, which is just phenomenal.
What's your feeling, and how will you describe the overall effect of the Cranberry Township Community Days?
I think it's phenomenal. It's just a great way for people to learn about the community, to learn about what Cranberry Township has to offer, and just opportunities for them to get involved with all the various nonprofits that are here, as well as just to, like I say, build community and just see what Cranberry has to offer, and just to get involved. There's a lot here to do.
There are some people that are maybe excited about Community Days and they want to get involved. How can they volunteer?
I would recommend they visit our website, the Community Chest website, Cranberry Township Community Chest, and just send us a message there and we can get them plugged in.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you. Cranberry Community Days. It's a big event for 3 days every year. It's been going on for almost 40 years now. I'm Larry Berg. We'll see you next time on Faces and Places.